Valerie,
Cynthia.
it's that time, I think.
I'm not wearing a watch.
Oh, then you don't know what time it is.
I don't. What time is it?
It's time for leg 6.
Woohoo! Leg 6, our final leg.
It is. This is amazing. I don't know how this happened so quickly.
The last leg to stand on.
Ooh.
Couldn't resist. I couldn't.
Well, okay.
You're not going to edit that out, are you?
No.
All right, so here we are at leg 6, and while we talk about it being our last leg, it's not actually the last section of the pattern we're going to release, right?
Correct.
So don't think that when you get to the end of leg 6, you're going to be done.
Right. We will have finishing instructions next
The
time.
finish line,
Right.
appropriately titled, will be out in another couple of weeks. So,
Yeah.
But leg 6 is the last of your opportunities to choose
Mm-hmm.
Cynthia's design or my design, or for those ambitious folks who are doing 2 shawls, you can do them both. Woohoo!
Exactly. And then for the finishing, depending on which leg you choose this time, you'll finish differently.
Yes.
So we won't worry about that today, but just as a heads up, you won't choose your finishing. You will get directions for finishing one way or the other.
Your finishing will depend upon what you choose here, but we're not
Exactly.
going to tell you why it matters.
Right. Because we're that way.
Why not?
So,
But yeah, with this being the last leg, it gave us a little bit of freedom
mm-hmm.
because I did not have to end with the same number of stitches as you
That's true.
in
So
order
it's a
for
little
us to
different.
continue on.
Mhm.
So it gave us each a little more creativity
Exactly.
and opportunities for choices. So with mine, I decided I wanted some flair.
Okay.
So I actually doubled my stitch count there towards the end of my shawl, which doubling your stitch count from 31 to 62 or whatever. Technically, I had already increased to 40, so I doubled to 80. That's not a lot, so don't panic.
No, it goes quickly.
Don't panic. But I wanted there to be a little flare at that end.
And you have pretty flair too.
Yeah.
So where are you going on this leg?
Well, I think I just have to say I went to Western Maryland.
Okay.
So there are elements of my leg that are inspired by the Allegheny Mountains, because out there in Western Maryland, you've got the Allegheny Mountains. So there's some zigzag lace there that kind of
Mountain-like.
makes the mountain peaks.
Okay.
And where there are mountains, there's running water.
Every time.
Because
Yep.
water goes down. And those little streams kind of flow into creeks, and they get bigger and they flow into, I don't know, what's bigger, a stream or a creek?
Stream for me.
Okay.
Creek seems small.
So a creek or a crick.
Yes.
Around some places up here. Creeks flow into streams, and streams flow into
Rivers.
bigger streams that flow into rivers. So,
Yeah.
and out in Western Maryland, actually, there are 2 main river kind of systems. You've got the Potomac, which that water all flows eastward and dumps into the Chesapeake Bay, as we have talked legs and legs and legs ago about the bay. But the tributaries that flow into the Allegheny end up in the Mississippi River Basin.
Huh.
And so that's the only place in Maryland where water goes to the Mississippi River instead of the Chesapeake Bay. So anyway, I've got like 2 main stream/river things, and one can be the Potomac and one can be the Allegheny.
Okay.
Why not?
I vote yes.
And then out in Western Maryland, Maryland's tallest single drop waterfall is out there, and that's called Muddy Creek Falls.
Okay.
And so that's kind of how I ended in this cascade of water and beads and shimmery
And I have to say,
frothiness.
her beads are stunning on this clue. I really love them. They start kind of thinner and then get heavier and heavier. By the end, there's a lot of beads. Oh, it's pretty.
I really had fun with that.
Yeah.
The sad thing is, because they're my favorite silver triangle beads on gray yarn, They just don't photograph well.
Oh.
But in real
But
life,
in real life, they're
stunning.
fine. Yeah.
Absolutely stunning.
They were beautiful. I saw
So,
them in real life,
yes.
so I didn't even notice the photo. It's a
Yes.
beautiful shawl, so I think you'll love it.
Yeah. So I've got my mountains, my streams, and my waterfall.
Sounds like a plan.
What about you?
Well, I'm in also Western Maryland, obviously, and I decided to go whitewater rafting because
Woohoo!
that's something I never do. And as I said in the clue, probably never will. But it looked like fun.
Yes.
And so I made my clue sort of like a royal of water and beads, and it just represents sort of rapids and all kinds of things going on.
It's really fun.
It was fun, yeah. So
Yeah.
and so that's
Yeah, so both clues are kind of lacy,
yes.
and both clues involve beads, but both clues can be done without beads.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's
Yep.
always an option. You don't have to do beads, but
Why
we're
wouldn't you?
always going to do beads.
Yeah, you can leave them out. We're not going to. And just knit one if you don't want to be.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I think one of the things that I was thinking when I put the beads in mine to have the concentration of beads, 2/3 of my clue doesn't have a single bead in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's only when you get to the waterfall that
Right.
the beads start to get sprinkled in and it gets heavier and heavier. And part of that was because I wanted to weigh that end down.
Yeah.
And so I wanted that density of beads there.
It's very successful. It's fun.
But
Yeah.
but that was fun with the beads. But yeah, you can do it without the beads, and it'll be just as beautiful.
We'll never stop you.
No.
You do what you want.
It's your shawl.
Exactly. We love it. That's the best part. So.
Yeah. So something that we should make note of is that we treated the end of leg 6 differently. So in addition to me like increasing stitches, I wanted to have a very frilly edge
Mm-hmm.
there, and so I went ahead and bound off,
Right.
right? But your instructions end with move these stitches to waste yarn instruction.
Exactly. Because I am going to treat the end differently.
Right, you're
at
kind
the
of framing
finishing.
things in.
Yes.
So maybe I said too much, but just don't be concerned when you're looking at the pattern and you see she tells you to put stuff on waste yarn and I tell you to bind off.
Right.
That is as it should be. That's part of why the finishing instructions will differ
Mm-hmm.
between our clues, because we had different goals with
Exactly.
how leg 6 should end.
Yes.
So that's definitely something that you should not panic about.
Yeah.
You shouldn't panic about anything, really, because it's
No.
knitting, and knitting's not worth panicking over.
I haven't panicked yet.
Yeah, well, yeah.
There we go.
We
Neither
just
have you.
enjoy it. We roll
Yeah.
with it, kind of like whitewater rafting. You just kind of have to
Exactly.
go where the river takes you.
Exactly.
My last whitewater rafting experience was more than 20 years ago. Might have been longer than that, and my mom was with us. That was funny. When we started this trip, I had to dig out pictures to find that whitewater rafting
Oh, that's fun.
trip. So
I
found
think
it.
I did mine as part of being Explorer Scouts. And I'm not sure I would call it rapids that we went on. It was more like a creek with rafts. I remember one kid, going over and being quite wet. But it was just mostly like a creek.
Oh no!
So,
I think when we went, we were in the Potomac down near Harper's Ferry,
oh, fun.
which was originally going to be my inspiration for this clue, but then I decided that wasn't it wasn't far enough
No.
west.
Yeah, it needed to be
So-
more west. Yeah.
I
I
went
agree.
further west and abandoned whitewater rafting, and then she picked it up.
It
So you
was
get
in the
rafting
ether.
either way.
So,
So this is our choice for you
yeah, so we
here
look
on leg 6.
forward as always to seeing how you knit it up and what the different colors look like when you're doing it as opposed to ours.
Yes.
I really enjoyed just even seeing Valerie's version of my Clue 6 as opposed to my own version. So I can't wait to see everybody's versions of both
Yeah.
of our clues. It's always fun for us. That never gets old.
Well, one of the things I did differently is that for your clue, I used different colors of beads.
Yeah.
Because I figure, like, when you've got the turmoil in the water,
Mm-hmm.
like, there are different tones. There's bright and light, and then there are, like, the darker tones. And
Exactly.
so I just
So,
randomly use different
Yeah.
colors of beads. And
Whatever's
for mine,
left.
I just used everything solid.
Yeah. So you can do whatever
but
you
yeah.
want to do, and yours would be good with different colors too,
Yeah, it
and
would
mine
be.
would be good with solid. Whatever you guys want to do, you know, we're at the end. Just roll with it.
We're excited to see what you come up with.
Yeah,
That's
we
the
really
important
are.
part.
We really are.
Yeah, because it's
So.
been fun to do that. So post your pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Post your pictures, and we'll be back in 2 weeks
Yep.
with the finish line to give you the instructions for how to finish this very oddly shaped and oddly constructed scarf shawl.
Yeah. And we'll
Shawl
tell you
scarf.
a lot more next time about what we were thinking and how to wear it and all kinds of stuff.
That's been the
So,
hardest thing, not being able to explain what we were thinking.
Yeah. And we still aren't going to.
Nope. Gotta wait.
So,
Gotta wait 2
yep.
more weeks.
So hang out a little bit longer and stick with us, and it will all reveal itself in 2
Yes.
weeks.
Enjoy your knitting.
Yes.